The fitness industry is a crazy confusing place. With so many fitness experts out there claiming that their system is the best for putting on muscle and shedding off fat, who should you actually listen to? Over my lifting career, I've tried a bunch of these different systems that experts claim were the best, and they all have their own trick that doctors always seem to hate. After enough time trying these systems, I found that each had some fundamental principles that made them all tick. Luckily for us, that makes getting in shape super simple. So in this video, we're going to create a simple 4-step framework that I personally use that really focuses on what's actually important when it comes to putting on a bunch of muscle and shedding off fat to get the physique that you want. So let's give it an easy name. Let's call it the Super Awesome Anime Training Arc Framework, or SWATOF, the SWATOF framework. I promise you, if you just follow this framework and really dedicate yourself to it, you're going to get in the best shape of your life. Hell, if you put enough effort in, you might even end up going Super Saiyan. For this framework to make sense, I really want you to imagine one of those old-time buildings with those big stone pillars in the front. If you were going to knock one of these pillars down, what would happen? The whole building would probably collapse, or at least partially, and it would become a building that I necessarily really wouldn't want to walk into. This fitness framework is the same way. Each of these 4 pillars work together to collectively hold up your gains and give you the results that you want. If you don't follow even just one of these pillars, your gains as a whole is going to suffer severely. So make sure you watch this whole video to make sure you don't miss a crucial piece of information that's going to severely limit your gains. So to understand pillar number 1, I need you to imagine making a huge roaring bonfire. All the best bonfires start with a single strike of a match, which is arguably the most important step in making a fire. If you want to begin growing the muscle that you want, you need to strike the match to get it started. That's where not only just going to the gym comes in, but actually training in the gym instead. So you might be asking yourself, when is this dude gonna get a haircut? And what's the difference between going to the gym and training, other than just trying to sound pedantic? How I see it, just going to the gym is just going around to available exercises and just getting the blood moving. Although I think this is a great thing for someone to get started with, it doesn't hold a candle when it comes to actually compared to training. Training is going to the gym with a plan and a purpose that guides you throughout your workout to achieve a specific goal, in this case, building on muscle and shedding off fat. Your training plan should outline and track the exercises that you're going to perform, as well as listing out the number of sets and rep ranges that you're going to do for each exercise. As you follow your program, continue trying to beat what you did last time each and every single week, whether that's setting a new record in weight, reps, or both. Continue to follow your training program until your progress really starts stalling out, or you're starting to feel some fatigue and achy joints and stuff like that, then decide to switch it up. As long as you're really pushing yourself and bringing your sets near or to failure, you've successfully struck a match and completed pillar number 1. If you want a specific program that you can follow, I made a whole video about how you can get a Toji Fushiguro physique. I'll pin it here somewhere, wherever it pops up, that you can watch after this video. With that being said, if we want a massive roaring bonfire of gains, we're going to need a little bit more than just one match, so let's move on to pillar 2. So for pillar number 2, we really need some fuel for the flames to really get it going. Literally. When it comes to what you should eat, this is where I commonly see the most confusion and misconceptions out there as to what you should actually do to get the results that you want. There's so many diets out there, from paleo, keto, carnivore, what are some other ones? Vegan, vegetarian, but which one is right and which one should you follow? To be fair, honestly, they all work. But when you break each of these diets down, they all tend to boil down to 2 main components that really make them work. So what are these components and why are they so important? So we'll start with the first one. Whether or not you're trying to bulk or cut, it all really depends on your calorie intake. If you're currently trying to bulk up, I recommend putting on about half a pound per week, or about 250 calories above your average maintenance calories per day. This way you can gain muscle at a really good rate with putting on minimal fat gain. On the other hand, if you want to shred off fat, you need to eat less calories than what your body burns each day. I recommend eating in somewhere between a 500 and 750 calorie deficit each day for fast yet sustainable fat loss that's going to stay off in the long term. However, hitting your calorie target won't be anywhere near as effective if you don't pair it with this next component. So for component number 2, regardless of whether you're trying to bulk up or shred down, getting enough protein is absolutely vital. Without enough of it, we wouldn't have the physical building blocks to actually build up and make our muscles bigger, and in the fat loss phase, we minimize the risk of actually burning up our muscle instead of the fat tissue that we want. Aim to hit anywhere between 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight each day, with the fat loss phase needing to eat more towards the 1 gram per pound of body weight per day, and if you're in a muscle gain phase, eating towards the lower end towards 0.7 grams is better. Now you may be asking yourself, what about the other macronutrients, fats and carbs? In my experience, when it comes to carbs and fats, they don't require as specific of target numbers as calories and proteins do. Just make sure you get a wide range of healthy foods that you get a good mix of both carbs and fats, and that should cover pretty much all of your bases. So now to pillar number 3, that really allows our training and nutrition to really take off and really start seeing the results that you want. So pillar number 3 is where all the magic really starts to happen. With the match struck with your training and the flames fed with your calorie and protein targets hit, it's really time to let the fire of gains burn. Contrary to popular belief, the changes that you want your body to make actually don't happen in the gym. In reality, those changes happen when you're laying in bed or just chilling on the couch. This is where pillar number 3 comes in, and that's recovery. Make sure you get at least 7 hours of quality sleep. That means no alcohol before bed. Try to limit caffeine at least 10 hours before you go to sleep. Eliminate any extra sounds, any extra lights, and lower the room temperature to at least 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 18.3 degrees Celsius. Haha, I don't only speak American numbers. As you really get into the swing of training, you might notice that you might need more sleep than before. Is that a bad thing and concerning? No, it's actually a pretty damn good thing. This just means that your body needs a little bit of extra time to positively adapt to the changes from your training, meaning that you're moving in the right direction. So don't be afraid to sleep in, take a nap, or just kick up your feet. Remember, when it comes to recovery, more often than not, less is more. For the fourth and final pillar, I think is personally the most important one of them all. I view this pillar as the main support pillar that really does the heavy lifting compared to the other 3. If you neglect any of the other 3 pillars, your gains are going to be suboptimal, but at least you'll be crawling in the right direction. However, this 4th pillar is the only thing that's going to make hitting your goals impossible if you don't follow it. So what is this all-important pillar that ultimately determines whether you get the physique that you want or not? To be honest, it might sound a little cliche, but it's totally true, and it's consistency. In a world where everything is instant, staying patient and dedicated is becoming more difficult than ever. In all reality, losing 20 pounds of fat is likely going to take most people 4 to 5 months to get it off in a safe way that will also allow them to keep it off. And on the other hand, putting on 20 pounds of muscle may take some people 2 full years to actually do without any extracurricular supplements, if you know what I mean. Sure, it takes a lot of time, but the health benefits, the extra energy, the confidence, and just the self-satisfaction of actually fulfilling and actually following through with your goals is absolutely unmatched when you achieve the physique that you actually want. So in my recommendation, especially at first, don't really focus and worry about trying to find a perfect and the most optimal system. Experiment and find things that you love doing to create a lifestyle that you can sustain and love that really helps you support your goals. As you begin creating your own fitness lifestyle that works for you, you can cut a lot of time by getting your training down on point. So click on this video right here if you want to get 12 years of training experience condensed into just 12 short minutes.